What's your reaction to Kyler's injury?
Well, I think the MRI has confirmed what a lot of people suspect, the way he went down, a non-contact injury. He dropped immediately. That's normally not a very good sign. And so the MRI will probably offer confirmation what everybody's feared. Skip, the thing is with this situation, Kyler Murray is reliant on his legs.
Is he?
He's not a 6'4", 6'5" Tom Brady, Peyton Manning.
No.
As a matter of fact, he's not a 5'11", 6-foot-tall Drew Brees.
No.
Everything that he does is reliant on those legs. The player that he became, the reason why he was the #1 overall draft pick, yes, he could throw the football, but those legs were able to get him out of harm's way. It is going to be incumbent upon Kyler Murray to get back to as close, if not better, than what he originally was in order for him to maintain that status as a very good or a quarterback that people believe that can get you a championship. He has to attack this, Skip. I believe Kyler Murray will attack this like most athletes do. The difference is, and take it from somebody that just had surgery, when I had both of my hips replaced, I was doing PT twice a week. Professional athletes do PT 5 times a week. And not that just that hour a day that the medical that would take. They're doing it 2, 3, 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. It is grueling. Yeah. I believe Kyler Murray will attack this because he knows in order for him to get back and to be what he was before the injury, that knee is going to have to be 172%. And I believe he'll attack it like that. Also, Skip, look, a lot has been said about the study habits and they were reluctant. The man got injured. One doesn't have anything to do with the other. No. Skip, it wasn't like, he was doing something out of the ordinary and he took a bad hit. No. The man broke the pocket and his knee gave. The study ain't have nothing to do with that. Yeah. So with that being said, Skip, it's just, I feel bad for him. He's got a lot of, caught a lot of flack for, I guess, his study habits. Yeah. But that didn't have anything to do with this. And so I'm expecting him to attack this rehab, to get back to what he was before he got injured, and he'll be just fine. Skip, with medicine now, ACLs, guys come back strong. They come back fast. And he's going to have...
I don't know if they come back fast, but they come back strong.
I think for him, Skip, because it's different. Like when Tom tore his knee, if I didn't tell you Tom Brady tore his ACL, hell, you didn't know. You wouldn't know. No. Because he's not relying on any leg. Peyton was never relying on his leg. Drew Brees at his height isn't relying on his leg. No. Kyler Murray is reliant on those legs. He's just not a prototypical pocket passer. No. He has to escape. He has to be able to move. I'm putting my money on Kyler. I believe he's going to come out and attack this thing, and Kyler Murray is probably not going to start the season, Skip, but I believe he'll be as good, if not better, than what he was before he had this injury.
I can't tell you how much I hope you were correct about that. But speaking of money, there's only one silver lining here. He got his.
Lamar Jackson.
Thank you.
If I'm Lamar Jackson, the next grass I step on will be my lawn. Ain't going to be no football field.
Grass as in green, as in I need my money.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of was Lamar keeps going out there. And
I don't think Lamar going back out there, Skip.
I hope you're right about that.
I haven't talked to, I don't know Lamar. I haven't talked to anybody. But if he saw that last night, I can't do that one.
Okay. So you and I talk about injuries all too much on this show. And what plagues me about the greatest game, which is the game you played, is the injury factor is extreme.
Yeah.
And it just haunts me and chips away at my psyche as a fan because every day we got to deal with another one, and it is a literal war of attrition.
Yes.
And the injury gods too often dictate who wins and loses the championship of your league because isn't it just sort of the last man standing?
Yes.
And your Super Bowl teams, their health was pretty to very good each time.
Yeah, I think maybe one year we only had one player on IR, maybe 2 tops.
I mean, it's
crazy.
If you call it luck or you call it good karma or whatever, stars aligned, however you explain it, whatever your value system is, it just takes stars to align for this to happen championship-wise.
Correct.
So he's running. It's the third play of the game.
Yeah.
And he kind of planned, but he didn't even plan hard. He just kind of stepped.
How many times do you think he's done that from high school to college to the NFL?
This young man, who's still only 25 years of age, has feet that are cartoonishly fast.
Yes.
It's like, I've told you when he was at Oklahoma, he'd make some runs where he'd just take my breath away.
Yeah.
I didn't think feet could move that fast. So to your point, how many times has he cut 100 times harder and quicker than that?
Correct.
This was just a routine maneuver.
Right.
And all of a sudden, a la Odell in the Super Bowl, I don't know why, it just went.
Just gave.
So if I can give one other silver lining, my first thought was Achilles tendon.
Right.
I don't know if you thought Achilles at all, but
No, because he didn't grab his leg. He didn't grab the bottom, because normally they grab down here.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. But if in fact this is a silver lining, I would take an ACL over an Achilles.
Absolutely.
Because Achilles can be career threatening
Yeah.
because they sometimes, as we've talked about many times, don't ever quite come back.
Correct.
This you can come back, as you say, stronger from.
Yes.
So if there is any consolation, and I'm not sure there's any consolation, I was happy to hear it's probably an ACL, and they don't know for a fact.
Correct.
But it's probably an ACL. So he goes down and out. ESPN reported he was sobbing on the cart as it turned the corner and went up the tunnel. And boy, I can't blame him for that. Mm-hmm. But even though he did get his money, which he earned, he made back-to-back Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
And by the way, his QBRs the previous 2 years ranked 14th and 7th. He's been injury plagued this year because he had a hamstring that was already bothering him. And you've brought this up before. Is there he's still a little gimpy on his hamstring? Was he overcompensating just a little bit, and all of a sudden it just doesn't, he doesn't step right on that side? I don't know. But in the end, he's had a rough year. Got his money.
Right.
But as you point out, we had all the controversy of the study clause. I still don't exactly understand what happened. I saw Robert Griffin last night on ESPN saying he had talked to Kyler, and Kyler said, no, I study. I think, if I heard right, RG was saying that he studies up to 40 hours a week, that he's always studied hard. So then why would you put that in a contract?
But the thing was, Skip, he said he doesn't like study. If you think I'm going to sit around and study film all day, you're wrong. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like people, you don't make stuff up like that. You just you take the guy at his word.
True.
You said, he said, I'm not going to sit around and study all day.
Yep.
Now, if I was him, I would tack the film room and the rehab with the exact same tenacity.
Very good point. Sometimes being forced to sit and watch for a while, because I don't think he's going to be ready for the start of the year. That would be miraculous.
Yes.
Because we're seeing Odell, he's gone through this whole year, and we're all hearing he can't probably be completely ready until next year.
Right, and that was February. Jamison Williams, the receiver from Alabama, tore his in the championship game, and it was his first game on Sunday.
That's true.
So you're probably looking, Skip, 5, maybe 2 months into the season.
Okay. So then the previous game, he had the incident. I assume it was a shot at Kingsbury, but I'm not sure, where he said, remember the quote, schematically on that play, we were effed.
Right.
And it seems like he and Cliff have gone back and forth. So it's been sort of an uneasy alliance for him in Arizona. But I stress he's only 25. He doesn't turn 26, I think, until August. So he will go into next year at age 26, but he's still a very young man.
Yeah, yes. Skip, I mean, we can all agree that sometimes he doesn't handle situations the best.
No.
The yelling and cursing at the coach and saying certain things, I don't agree with that. But this, I still feel bad. I don't like to see guys get injured. And I also, this is what breaks my heart, is that we play the most physical game and we get the least amount of guaranteed money.
You do.
I mean, somebody make that make sense to me. But hey, that's a union and players and NFL, that's an issue they need to resolve. But Skip, all he has to do, and I think, Skip, you don't get to this level without some type of determination. Yeah, everybody's talented, and there's different levels of talent, but you don't get to this level without working hard. At some point in time. Now, you might have to work harder in college than you did in high school, and you're definitely going to have to work harder in the NFL than you did in college. But you get to this level for a reason. Kyler Murray understands. He knows, Skip, I'm not 6'5". I just don't throw the ball from the pocket. I've got to have these. Because, Skip, if he can't get away at 5'10" tall, what good is he? He might as well, what good is it? If he can't escape, that's what made him so unique. He was 5'10", but he can escape. Well, the hell, if you can't escape at 5'10", Skip, what? I mean, you might as well move the receiver.
I still don't even know how Drew Brees was so successful because you have to be able to move to create some throwing lanes when you're 6 feet tall because you've seen what Baker Mayfield's gone through. Any of these shorter, not that they're short, but
by NFL quarterbacks,
yes, they are. They're
diminutive.
You have to be able to maneuver a little bit to find a lane.
Lanes, you got to.
And Kyler can create lanes like nobody because he can run through those lanes.
Right.
And
that's what put the fear of God in the defense, Skip, was his legs. Well, if he doesn't have that, and I don't fear you, I'm not worried about you going anywhere, I'll attack you. I'll definitely attack you now because I know you can't outrun me.
Yep. Remember when he chipped the Raiders in that comeback? That actually derailed their season right there because they were prohibitively ahead.
Yeah, that play lasted, what, like 20 seconds?
Yeah, it lasted about 20 seconds. So back to his money and back to your guarantee issues. So he got 5 years, $230 million. It was 189.5 guaranteed. So he didn't get anywhere near a full guarantee, a la Deshaun and Deshaun Watson, obviously, in Cleveland, got 230 guaranteed.
But he got more guaranteed than what he had on that original contract going into this season. And now, Skip, he tears that because he got it at the end of his third year. Now, let's just say, for the sake of argument, this happens. They're not giving him no guaranteed contract. They're not doing no new deal. So he struck while the iron was hot.
He did.
They begrudgingly gave him that money because, you know, Skip, they was like, he had to take down everything off his IG page, discard everything that was Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
And then they put something in his clause to basically, I mean, it kind of embarrassed the man.
It did.
And then they had to, like, backtrack. No, he studied. Well, then why you put that in his contract then? If he studies, why would you put that in his contract?
Well, I said they took it out.
Exactly.
Why would you embarrass him to start with?
Right.
You wanted to send a message.
And why would he allow them to put that in his contract?
Correct.
But that's neither here nor there, Skip. I just hope that the thing that helped him get to this level was his tenacity. He knows he's all, and somebody, Skip, in the scout, when he was coming out of the draft, like, he's always been small. It's not like all of a sudden he shrank.
Yeah, I think Kingsbury said that. Yeah.
It's not like he shrank once he got to college. He's always been a small kid. Now he's a small man. And at 20 years of age, the likelihood of him having a growth spurt is not very good.
Yep.
But, Skip, he's going to have to attack this because his legs are everything.
And to your point, you could really use this year to literally, sort of effectively grow.
Yes.
Maturity-wise.
Yes.
In sort of vision-wise of what it looks like from afar, because he's never been forced to sit on the sidelines and watch the way he's going to be forced to watch.
Right.
And I love your point about go ahead and spend those hours studying as well as rehabbing because you're going to have time on your hands.
Yes.
One other contract of note was the Dak contract that he got. But remember, Dak fought back, he and his agent, and decided, well, all these other contracts are 5-year deals. They said, no, we want a 4-year deal. Yeah. So he took lower, it's 4 years for 160, but it's 126 guaranteed, but it still averages 40 a year. So Kyler averages 46 a year, and he got Deshaun's 46 a year.
That might be up there here.
40, but he's going to be up
again.
Yeah,
in his 20s. That could be for a new contract in his 20s.
I think it'll be right at the end, but I think he'll still be 29.
But Dak broke his ankle. And although Dak broke his ankle, he was somewhat mobile. Dak wasn't as reliant on his legs as Kyler Murray is.
No.
And you see, Skip, Dak doesn't run nearly as much, and when he runs, look like he got a little hitch in his giddy-up.
It does. And it disturbs me because Jerry at the first of the year was campaigning, I want to see him carrying the ball more. And you saw the 9-yard scramble in the last drive. Yeah. I mean, he pulled it off.
Yeah.
But
I thought he was pulling a sled.
Well,
the football was really heavy. One of the two things.
Yeah. So where does this leave the Arizona Cardinals is the question, because it feels like Cliff Kingsbury has been on the hot seat. Yeah. And maybe
they just gave him a contract extension. He's on the contract through 2027. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 5 years.
Ooh.
The general manager, Kime, he's on the contract to 2027. That's 5 years. You about to eat that? Well, hell, considering that you got up off Steve Wilkes after 1 year, so the Bidwell, Michael, I think his dad, I think his son is Michael.
Yep.
I believe they'll get up off it.
Yeah, they might. I mean, it's starting to feel it's heading in that direction where it's starting to feel like we got to start anew. I
just think, Skip, not to get too far off track, but it just seems like the relationship between the head coach and the player seems to be, I don't know, the way I see Kyler, I can honestly say I've never seen a quarterback speak to the head coach or a coordinator, like I've seen Kyler say some of the things that he said to, I forget the head coach's name.
For Kingsbury?
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
I can't recall in my 14 years.
No.
To see a quarterback speak to him like that.
Not quite like that.
And calm the F down. Calm the F. I'm playing my little.
You know, I used to see Marino yell at the young Shula. He was playing for Don, but the son was the coordinator.
Yeah.
Was it David?
David.
Yeah, David was the son. And I would see Marino yell at him like that, but it wasn't at Don Shula.
Right. No. And so that's who normally gets the brunt of it, Skip.
Yes.
Your position coach or the coordinator. It just so happens the coordinator happens to be the head coach. So he's getting full on. But I think Kyler, I'm gonna trust the young man that he's going to grow, he's going to mature, and he knows he's going to have to, Skip, because there have been some of his former players that take shots at him from a distance. Now,
Peterson.
Yeah, and so, he's like, hey, and so it's not a good look that former players that know you, that was in that locker room, have something negative to say about you. Now, not all players are going to get along with everybody, but that was a very damning, because Pat Peterson come with the utmost credentials, the utmost credibility. So I think, Kyler, don't lash out. Just say, you know what? They see something that's not sitting right with them.
Yeah. I
need to change a little bit of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Hit this rehab, hit this film room, work on myself as a player and a person.
Yeah.
I believe in 2023, now it's probably going to be half the season, but I believe he can get back to what he once was.
I totally agree. My only issue with Kyler, and I've been a huge fan of his since his days at Oklahoma, started at Texas A&M, which was odd because it didn't work, and then he winds up with Lincoln Riley.
So he might have got one of them NIL deals before they were NIL official.
You well could be right. There's been a long history at the school I grew up loving of having quote-unquote NIL deals back to the 1970s.
Yeah,
right?
y'all had them too.
We had them too. But my only issue with Kyler has been he's sort of a natural solo act. He stays to himself.
Right.
He sort of stays in his own head. And as you know, if you're going to be the face of a franchise and just by the position you play, by almost default, you are the leader of the franchise.
You got to be, Skip,
And you have to be a little more outward.
Yes.
You have to be more outgoing.
Almost presidential. You got to shake a lot of hands, kiss a lot of babies. That's just a figure of speech. But I'm saying, yes, Skip, you dealing with talking to hey, man, how y'all doing? What y'all do last night? You over to the linebacker. You over to the obviously offensive line, receive, and things of that nature. Yeah, you're a lot of different things when you're the quarterback and you're the leader of the team. It's hard to be by you. It's hard to be a standalone and play that position.
So maybe this time away will allow him to grow and see better what he needs to become.
Yeah.
He needs to come out a little bit more to the team because he stays in his own head because he's so gifted. He sort of plays his own game.
Marks to his own
and as
beat,
you know, he loves to play video games, and it's a solo thing.
Right.
You're alone in your head. You might be playing somebody in India or somewhere, but you're actually in your room by yourself. And this game, as you know, it requires lots of help and teammates.
And it requires a lot of study, a lot of focus. Skip, and I get it. I guess the video games, in order for you to get good, you have to play all the time. That's like anything. In order to get good at it, you got to do it a lot. It's not something like, you know what, it's football season. I need to devote all my time to study and playing football. Forget those video games and pick it up. It's kind of like golf. If you're a golfer, you don't sit golf down and be off on Tuesday or every chance you get, you doing something, chipping, putting.
That is the biggest problem with golf. If you don't play it, you get worse.
And I guess with video, hand-eye coordination and reactionary skills, if you don't do it all the time, you get worse. And these guys want to get good.
Well, in the end, we both wish him the best.
Absolutely.
I hated to see it. I hate it for your game. I hate to see especially quarterbacks go down because I hate it for ESPN's sake last night. The air goes out of the game.
Yeah.
And this is just me. I believe Arizona would have won that game if Kyler was
I do too. So do I.
Healthy.
So do I.
Right?
So do I, yes.
And so Belichick and company, Mac Jones, they escaped.
Yes.
Whew.
Colt McCoy taking over for the Cardinals, guys. He got sacked 6 times last night. Probably not feeling the best this morning. Okay, CF, let's talk about your Cowboys a little bit. Does their latest signing mean they've moved on from OBJ? Plus, are the Lakers primed to upset the Celtics tonight? It's going to be a showdown.
Definitely.
We've got it
Prime? I
all
don't know
next
about
on
prime.
Undisputed. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.